Worship Krishna without duplicity, for time is very short. I looked up duplicity. Words are so wonderful. I can see how you become intoxicated with words. To be hypocritical is an understanding of duplicity. Hypocritical, to present oneself as something which one is not. To project that one is feeling something that one is not. It also means, cunning. Interesting. Cunning, crafty. So I looked up cunning and crafty. And crafty means to be deceitful. To misrepresent one or one's activity. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, following in his footsteps, and we, his servants, are trying to do the same. We aspire to serve the servants of the servants of the servants, those who are dear to the Lord. On our own, we have no qualification for entrance into these pastimes. We look at the Govardhan Shila on the temple altar. What do we see? Lord Chaitanya, when he was approaching Vrindavan after leaving Puri, he was feeling 100 times more ecstasy. I'm on my way to Vrindavan. When he got to Mathura, he was feeling 1,000 times more ecstasy. When he got to the actual forest of Vrindavan, it was 100,000 times the ecstasy. It's inconceivable. There is no limit in spiritual life, in pure, unalloyed devotional service to Krishna. One's surrender, one's service, and the reciprocation of love one receives from Krishna and his devotees, it's unlimited. Thus one's own personal fulfillment is unlimited. One's happiness is unlimited. When he saw Govardhan for the first time, he fell down flat in ecstasy and hugged one of the rocks of the hill, knowing this is Krishna. This is my worshipable Lord. And cried in ecstasy and chanted prayers of glorification of Krishna. So we have the pastime which we will hear tonight from Dravida Prabhu. Looking forward to it anxiously. But we hear how Krishna cheated the false ego of his servant Indra, king of the heaven, took away his yajna, Indra puja, Indra yajna, and instead directed it toward the worship of the cows that gave them sustenance, the hill which sustained the cows, and the Brahmins. And the Brajvasis following Krishna in any direction he'll take them, any instruction he gives them. They did this. And in that worship, when they came round, first they worshipped the cows, they offered them nice cloths and grasses to feed them, etc. Wonderful respect and treatment of mother cow, father bull. And then they had a yajna of the Brahmins, fire yajna, and all the mantras, Vedic mantras. And then they worshipped Govardhan. They offered articles of food stuff to Govardhan. And they cooked so many preparations, so many. And Krishna assumed, Govardhan assumed a form. Krishna, gigantic Krishna. And he started eating all the preparations that were being offered to him, showing everybody, just see, I'm different from Govardhan. This Govardhan hill is worshipable. So Lord Chaitanya, in that mood that this is Krishna, he did not walk on Govardhan hill. He understood it to be the Lord. And he would simply fall at its feet, take the dust of Govardhan. So we're going to emphasize this aspect first, because the Govardhan is such a unique entity. Non-different from Krishna, but simultaneously a devotee of Krishna. It does, doesn't it? Srimati Radharani, she glorifies Govardhan as the best of devotees. I think I'll wait before I chant that verse. It's a very famous verse. But in the mood of wanting to get the service of Krishna, the mercy of Krishna, she knew I have to serve and please the devotees. I have to get their blessings. Then maybe there's a chance I might be able to serve my worshipful Lord. In that mood of simply wanting to get the mercy. They were seeing the doe, the deer were more fortunate than I. They can just become totally absorbed in the beauty of the Lord out in the forest. The cows, the Aborigine women, they could, right in front of their husband, take the kumkum from the footprints of Krishna and the dust of Vrindavan and smeared on their foreheads, upon their breasts, feeling such desire for service of the Lord and being satisfied. They didn't even have to pretend or hide from their husbands because their husbands were totally absorbed in Krishna also. And in the same way, saw Govardhan as a servant, serving the Lord so nicely, serving his friends so nicely, serving the cows so nicely, and the gopis also. So many caves in which they would sport, so many places, so many pastimes in Govardhan. It is so worshipable. So you have these two things. And if we hear submissively, if we worship Govardhan, I wanted to stress that, how about the entrance of Govardhan into this material world? It's explained, I believe, in the Adi Purana that Krishna told Srimati Radharani, I'm getting ready to descend into the material world, please accompany me. And he said, I will not leave unless Vrindavan, Govardhan, and Jamuna are all there within the material world. I could not bear the separation. He says, no worries, it's already done. And the pastime is there from, I think that's the Garga Samhita, how Giriraj, the king of all hills, why is he the king of all mountains? I mean, when he appeared, Mount Meru, the Himalaya mountains, etc., they all came and bowed at his feet, offering him worship. Why? Because he descended from the spiritual world. He was not a living entity of this world, non-different from Krishna. So he came as the son of Dronachal, and he appeared, Samali, in the Dweep of Samali. And they all came and paid their respects, etc., happy that he had appeared in this world. And after some time, a great sage named Palastya Muni came. And when he saw the beauty of Govardhan, he said, he was received by the father, Dronachal, who offered him respects and offered him, what can I do for you? Let me serve you. Anything you want. He said, well, I'd like your son. Sounds like another pastime. I'd like your son. I do my meditation in Benares, and it's flat there. There's no pleasant mountain or hill there. Govardhan would be perfect. Could I please have him? And there's the dilemma. He's in such love with his transcendental son, but Govardhan spoke up, said, yes. But how will you get me there? I'll pick you up. Oh, okay. I'll concede, I'll fulfill your desire with one stipulation. Whenever or wherever you put me down on the ground, I will stay there. No problem. So he goes from that dweep to Benares by way. He passed over Vrindavan. And Govardhan, his mystic potency bewildered him, where he felt the urge of the body. He had to service his body. And he completely forgot, as he put the hill down to go take care of the body, to bathe, etc., that Govardhan wasn't going to move. And Govardhan at this time, it's amazing that he had the ability to pick him up in the first place. This is no ordinary person. But he was 64 miles long, he was 40 miles wide and 16 miles high. Holy smokes. He picked him up and he brought him, but when he laid him down, despite his best effort, most strenuous efforts, he couldn't pick him back up. And it happens. Even the sadhus can become angry, and he became very angry. He was attached. I wanted Govardhan in Benares. And he cursed him. You'll shrink the size of a mustard seed every day. Now, a personality like Govardhan, you cannot curse. They had no effect unless they voluntarily surrendered to the curse, accepting it. So knowing that he would be the servant of Lord Krishna, the place of pastimes for Lord Krishna and all his friends and family, he accepted the curse. And so by the time Dwapara Yuga came around and Krishna appeared in this world, then he had reduced in size considerably. Something like, let me see if I can access it real quick. He became like something like, sheesh, the memory's going to deceive me and I didn't write it down. But it was something like 14 miles long, 3 miles wide, and, not that tall. It was more a hill than a mountain. And this was appropriate for the pastimes of Radha, for Radha and Krishna and his cowherd boys. They could play on the hills, the valleys, not gigantic mountain peaks. And then, after Krishna wound up his pastimes, made them unmanifest, went back to the spiritual world, the hill of Govardhan continues to shrink. But the Vaishnavas understand this is out of separation from Krishna. Voluntarily he shrunk for service, and now out of extreme separation he is shrinking, pining for Krishna. Because he only wants to serve Krishna. And it's stated that after 10,000 years of Kali Yuga have passed, then he will no longer be manifest in this world. He'll be flat and disappear. That's when the onslaught of Kali will really come full force. There was a time in a Treta Yuga where he had an opportunity to serve the Lord. Lord Ram was building the bridge to Lanka. And, the powerful monkeys, Hanuman included, were going out and they were getting huge mountains and they were bringing them back and throwing boulders and mountains into the sea and enabling, the pastime is Lord Ram giving more credit to his devotees, enabling a bridge to be built so he and the army could cross over to Sri Lanka and defeat Ravana. And Hanuman came to Vrindavan and began to pick up Govardhan and take him there to throw him into the ocean. But at that time there was a celestial voice saying, no, the bridge is completed, leave Govardhan where he is. And so Govardhan was like, He was looking for the touch of the lotus feet of Lord Ram, looking very much forward to that mercy. And the voice continued, don't worry, Govardhan. Very soon, Lord Krishna will appear. Not only will you get the touch of his lotus feet, but with his lotus hand, he will lift you up like an umbrella. Just hang in there. So this hill is very, very special to the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Rupa Goswami says that Mathura is more elevated and sacred than even Vaikuntha, the spiritual worlds, because Krishna appears there. And more elevated, more sacred than Mathura are the forests of Vrindavan, because Krishna danced with the gopis in those different forests, enacted his spiritual pleasure pastimes. Even more sacred than the forests are Govardhan Hill. As Rupa Goswami says, because he was lifted by the very hand of the Lord. And this pastime of being lifted by Lord Krishna, it's one of the only times when everybody in Vraj gets to come together and be fully satisfied. In his earliest days, in the Kumara stage of Krishna's manifest pastimes, it's all about parental love and service. And Mother Yasoda, Nanda Maharaj, the elderly gopis, they're getting the lion's share of Krishna's association. They're getting to serve him to their heart's content. When he gets a little older and starts taking out the calves, at 5 years old, then the cowherd boys, it kicks in for them. They get to play with Krishna all day long. And at that time, Mother Yasoda is pining away. My son, is he okay? Is he being hurt by wild animals, or his feet being pricked by the thorns, etc.? Such parental love and anxiety for her transcendental son, fully absorbed in separation. And then same for the cowherd boys when he comes back at night. They can't wait to hear the rooster crow. They jump right out of bed and run to do their duties so they can be with Krishna. Milk those cows real quick. Let's go see Krishna. And then, of course, when he gets older, the pastimes with his most beloved surrendered servants, the gopis. But when Krishna raised Govardhan Hill, all of the Vrajvasis were there underneath the hill, and for 7 days and nights they were in such ecstasy. It was a great festival. You know, we got a few hours in a day. They had 7 days where they were simply chanting the glories of Krishna, their eyes fully, all senses fully absorbed in Krishna. They were in such ecstasy. Govardhan was in such ecstasy. The clouds of universal destruction, the thunderbolts hurled by Indra, the hail size of this temple, gigantic universal destructive force, raining, pelting down upon him. 7 days, 7 nights. He didn't feel a thing. He was just absorbed in the touch, the cooling touch of Krishna's hand. And he grew. His peaks grew beyond the clouds. He was above the clouds, like an airplane. When we fly sometimes, you look down, you see an ocean of clouds. So in this way, all the animals, the goats, the deer, the birds, etc., all those that weren't underneath the hill, they got to go up to the top of the hill, and they were above it all. They felt no misery. They were in ecstasy, aware of the mercy of the pastime that Krishna was exhibiting to his beloved devotees. It's such a wonderful pastime. But it's all for Krishna's pleasure. That's what's to be emphasized. It's for Krishna's pleasure. All the Vrajvasis simply want to please him. They love him more than their own children. They love him more than their own wife, their own husband, their own self, etc. That's the mood when one gets the mercy of the spiritual master and the Vaishnava that one aspires for and at some point is given. That allows one, that's the qualification for entering into these pastimes. Raghunath Das Goswami, his sadhana, his worship of the Lord, Chaitanya and the Govardhan Shila were like lines on a stone. He didn't cut corners. He was, the highest emblem of a devotee, sannyasi also. And he's our Priyojana Acharya. What does that mean? Dravida Prabhu referred to Sambandha, relationships. Everything has relationship to Krishna. Abhideya. Sanatan is the teacher of Sambandha. Rupa Goswami is the teacher of Abhideya. Practical application of the knowledge that Krishna is my Lord and the Lord of everything. So service, devotional service. And then the fruit of that service is praying, unalloyed love for Krishna. And Raghunath Das is the Acharya for that love. And he worships Giridhari. This transcendental nature of worshiping Giridhari, if we were awake, if we were realized, we would understand that New Govardhan is non-different than Govardhan. We would realize that Govardhan, Giriraj, he is here. Govardhan is here. Giridhari is here. And our surrender, our desire to serve, they're so kind to appear, to accept our service. The Lord, Radha Giridhari, they've appeared to accept our service under the guidance of Srila Prabhupada and his representatives. Inconceivable mercy. But as I was pointing out, Raghunath Das, boy, he was so exacting and so surrendered. He's in total love for Radha and Krishna. And he was given this benediction by Lord Krishna: if you'll worship this Shila, you'll surely attain ecstatic love for Krishna. He told him how to do it: worship with pure water and a few manjaris from Tulsi Devi. Offer 8 manjaris every day. And Raghunath Das did that in transcendental jubilation. Swarup Damodar facilitating because he was a penniless sadhu, a sannyasi. He had nothing. And he gave him some cloth, a wooden platform, a jug to keep water in. And he worshipped, seeing how Govardhan was Krishna. And not only did Lord Chaitanya give a Govardhan Shila, which he personally worshipped for 3 years, sometimes holding to his heart while chanting, while crying, chanting, sometimes to his eyes, sometimes smelling the transcendental aroma of the transcendental body of Krishna. And he gave this to Raghunath Das. And he also gave a Ganjamala. These are little tiny beads, berries that come from Vrindavan. And they represent Srimati Radharani. And he said, worship Govardhan Shila with these Ganjamala. And this way you have Radha and Krishna. And Govardhan is so dear to Lord Chaitanya, so dear to Raghunath Das, by the mercy of Radha and Krishna, by the mercy of Govardhan, he developed full blossom, pure love, Krishna praying for Krishna. And all our acharyas, they show this closeness, this affinity, this desire for the service of Govardhan. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, before leaving this world, 101, he gave that instruction, worship the Lord without duplicity, for not much time is left. And he constantly repeated 2 prayers written by Raghunath Das Goswami. Nija Nikata Nivasam Dehi Govardhan Tvam. That's the refrain of all the verses. That's Raghunath Das Goswami. And he's praying, O Govardhan, kindly allow me to reside very close to you. And by Rupa Goswami, Pratyasam Me Tvam Kuru Govardhan Purnam. O Govardhan, please fulfill all my desires. He chanted these prayers again and again to Govardhan. Give me the service of Radha and Krishna. Let me have residence near you. Let me see with these own eyes, as we pray in Tulsi, to behold the beautiful pastimes of Radha and Krishna. He's yearning in this way. Praying again and again. And Srila Prabhupada, right before leaving this world, desired to circumambulate Govardhan Hill. He wanted all the devotees, get together, let's have a big troop, and we'll make a picnic of it. I'll get in a bullock cart, and he's completely in as time would reveal, he's on the common use of the languages. He's on his deathbed. Now he's completely transcendental. There's nothing left of the form. This will be in a few more days. But he's totally absorbed in Govardhan and the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, and how dear Govardhan is, and wanting to serve Govardhan, circumambulating. He showed us how special Govardhan is to us. Our acharyas show us. Sanatan was given a Govardhan Shila in his old age because he couldn't do the parikrama anymore. The body was failing him, as it does, but there's no obstacles in devotional service. Krishna, as a little cowherd boy, came and gave him a Shila and said, circumambulate this Shila. Has his footprint in it, has a calf's footprint, has his cowherd stick. You'll see all 3 in the altar when we have darshan. It's melted in the stone of Govardhan. He said, circumambulate this every day, and that'll be full. That'll be the execution of your vrat, your vow to always circumambulate Govardhan every day. So Krishna gave Sanatana a Govardhan Shila. Lord Chaitanya gave Raghunath Das a Govardhan Shila, and Srila Prabhupada has given us a Govardhan Shila. This is so significant and important to the development of our Krishna consciousness if we'll just open our ears and our heart to the mercy and the opportunity of service that's being offered. I'd like to read that prayer now where the gopis are glorifying Govardhan as the best of servants. I'll skip the Sanskrit, although it's so beautiful, and that's only for time's sake. But of all the devotees, this Govardhan Hill is the best. This is Srimati Radharani speaking. separation from Krishna as he's out herding the cows in Govardhan. Oh, my friends, this hill supplies Krishna and Balaram along with their calves, cows, cowherd friends with all kinds of necessities. Water for drinking, very soft grass, caves, fruits, flowers, and vegetables. In this way, the hill offers respects to the Lord. Being touched by the lotus feet of Krishna and Balaram, Govardhan Hill appears very jubilant. So in the purport of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and Rajendranandana Maharaj quotes it also. Is it him? Is it in CC? No, it might have been CC where I read it, rather. Describes that, he offers sweet water, and in actuality, Govardhan offers all 16 items of worship to the Lord. And this is the kind of thing, Jananivas Prabhu, a friend and Siksha Guru of mine, he goes into ecstasy over this kind of thing. I've heard him read descriptions of how Vrindavan, how Govardhan worships the Lord. Page 30. See if you can get some little bit of pleasure out of it. With many, this is from Gopal Champu, and note for you pujaris all the different 16 items of worship. With many charming jewel boulders, the mountain named Govardhan offers a sitting place for Lord Krishna. Isn't that the first thing you do in your puja? You offer a sitting place to the Lord or the spiritual master. With the cooing of many birds, Govardhan offers Lord Krishna a welcome. You chant prayers. With its swiftly flowing streams filled with lotus flowers, durva grass, and shamaka seeds, Govardhan offers padya, wash the feet. With limitless new shoots of darba grass growing in her dear hoofprint puddles, Govardhan offers argya. With ponds where jati, javanga, and kakola grow on the shores of Govardhan, they offer akshmaniya. With fresh yogurt, ghee, and honey, Govardhan offers madhuparka. With water from a clear spring at its summit, Govardhan offers bathing water. With golden tree bark, fine like silk, Govardhan offers garments. With fragrant powders, sandal paste, and red and white minerals, Govardhan offers fragrant ointment. With the blooms of malati vines and other vines, Govardhan offers pleasing flowers. With the dust raised by the Sarabi cow's hoofs, Govardhan offers incense. Fragrant dust from the cow's hoofs. Okay. Where are we? Fragrant. Okay. With the glistening of its many jewels, Govardhan offers a glittering lamp even in the daytime. With charming gunja, those berries. Peacock feathers, clusters of flowers, and many other pleasing objects, Govardhan offers ornaments. With pleasing fruits and roots, Govardhan offers delicious meals. With cool, flower-scented water mixed with fragrant and pure tulsi leaves, Govardhan offers water to rinse the mouth. With champak flowers and other glorious blooming flowers moving in the gentle breeze, Govardhan offers artik. With budding nakula flowers and other trees, Govardhan offers a graceful parasol, an umbrella. With blooming branches moving in the breezes from the Malaya hills, Govardhan offers a service of fanning Lord Krishna. With the dancing of the cooing peacocks, Govardhan offers a festival of dancing. When attracted by Krishna's flute music carried by the breeze, a gopi comes. Govardhan prepares a soft couch of flowers. With the cuckoo's cooing, Govardhan makes sweet singing. Gazing at Lord Krishna and performing these services to please him, Govardhan Hill confirms his reputation as the best of the Lord's servants. So all this is there in the service of the Lord by Govardhan. And I think because we're coming near the end, I'm going to read a couple of prayers. First one by Raghunath Das Goswami, where he's asking for residence near Govardhan. There's benedictions at the end of this prayer, so if you're able to pay attention, the blessing can manifest even sooner. O Govardhan, these are 10 prayers for residence near Govardhan. O Govardhan, like an umbrella, you rested upon the hand of your Lord Sri Krishna for 7 days to curb the pride of Indra, the king of the demigods. O vast hill of large rocks, so dear to me, kindly allow me to reside very close to you. O Govardhan, the ever-fresh, youthful couple are displaying intoxicating, amorous pastimes in every single one of your caves. Please allow me to witness those transcendental sports. Kindly allow me to reside very close to you. O Govardhan, you're decorated with beautiful pavilions of pearls and jeweled thrones, shaded by trees along with caves and valleys, where Krishna always plays with Balaram and the cowherd boys. I also long to witness those transcendental games. Kindly allow me to reside very close to you. O Govardhan, you're the witness of the tax pastime of the youthful two lovers. You increase the joy of all the ecstatic devotees with your display of bluish pavilions, splendor and fragrance. Please, allow me to see that joyful pastime in your beauty. Kindly allow me to reside very close to you. O Govardhan, the lake, Radhakund, of Sri Krishna's beloved, Radha, embraces you around the neck under the spell of divine love. The young couple are always secretly enjoying there in great joy. I also long to see Srimati Radharani's divine Kund. Kindly allow me to reside very close to you. O Govardhan, your name, meaning the sustainer of the cows, has become famous all over the three worlds, because you nourish the cows with your soil, water, grass, and shady trees. Kindly allow me to reside very close to you. O Govardhan, the enemy of Aga and Baka, has made you famous by using you as an umbrella to protect the Vrajvasis from the wrath of the king of the demigods. Kindly allow me to reside very close to you. O Govardhan, you're the tilak on the forehead of Vrajadam, and are described as the best of Lord Krishna's servants by the nectarian words emanating from Radhika's own moon-like mouth. Kindly allow me to reside very close to you. O Govardhan, you're moistened by fraternal love for Radha and Krishna and their associates, and are dedicated to giving joy to the people, animals, and birds of Vraj. Please accept me out of your unlimited causeless mercy, and kindly allow me to reside very close to you. O Govardhan, although I am crooked and deceitful, still Sri Chaitanya, Satchidananda, has delivered me unto you out of his unlimited mercy. So please do not consider my qualifications or disqualifications. Kindly allow me to reside very close to you. Whoever recites these 10 verses or hears these 10 verses praising the King of Mountains will attain a joyful residence near Govardhan Hill and will swiftly attain the jewel of Radha and Krishna's divine loving service. Now for Rupa Goswami's prayer to fulfill all his spiritual desires. Be careful what you wish for, my friends. He says, peacocks are madly dancing upon you, to the music rising from the flute decorating Lord Govinda's mouth. You whose rocks are splashed by the high waves of Radhakund, O Govardhan, please fulfill all my desires. By your splendor you astonish the minds of the gopi girls of Vraj. You're described by the devotees as the best of Lord Hari's servants. You fulfill all directions with the most wonderful luster. O Govardhan, please fulfill all my desires. With your many pleasure-giving caves that are palatial resting chambers, you satisfy Krishna. Many clouds that are the friends of the moon and sparkling multicolored cascading streams cover you. O Govardhan, please fulfill all my desires. Your peaks are splendid with soft mineral colors washed with your love and suitable to decorate the Supreme Lord, who is the eternal decoration of all the worlds. You whose caves eternally resound with the joyful sound of the flute. O Govardhan, please fulfill all my desires. Your shining rocks are the regular sitting places of Lord Krishna. O charming friend of the Sarabi cows, O Govardhan, please fulfill all my desires. You stopped the multitude of destructive clouds and thus defeated Indra. You thus brought to an end Indra's hatred of your relatives, the hills and mountains. O Govardhan, please fulfill all my desires. You became an umbrella held by the beautiful arm of Krishna. You are very appropriately named. Lord Krishna ordered that you should be worshipped with a wonderful ceremony. O Govardhan, please fulfill all my desires. O friend and assistant of Srimati Radharani's transcendental pastimes, it was in your forest groves that Radha dropped her necklaces and bracelets while decorating you with her rasa pastimes. O Govardhan, please fulfill all my desires. O King of Hills, O dear friend of Krishnamboda, I pray that to whoever reads or hears these 8 verses of your glorification, you will quickly give the ever-expanding transcendental bliss of devotional service. and the Lord of your heart, Sri Krishna, will happily accept him among his associates. Shri Giraj Govardhana Ki. Couple of minutes. Darshan's coming. Plenty of opportunity for service today. We should be eager to render whatever we can, what little we can. What? Yeah, someone could ask how, glorifying Govardhan like that, someone could ask how could all the Vrajvasis fit under the hill? It was only 3 miles wide by this time. You know, Vrindavan is like 32 square miles. Now, how do they fit in? But out of transcendental ecstasy, Govardhan expanded so that they could all enter underneath. And it wasn't some muddy, rocky, funky, worm-filled kind of like, cave. Palatial residences, jeweled pathways, stockpiles of food which wasn't used. Actually, Mother Yasoda and Rohini did feed Krishna yogurt and butter at one point while he's holding the heel. And the coward men and Nanda Maharaj took up the task, making sure Krishna would be okay, while he's accepting the love-filled offering by Mother Yasoda and Rohini. But it's just like the hill is ready to do anything for the service of Krishna. And empowered, when one fully surrenders like that, one becomes empowered to do the impossible. So, anybody else like to add a little drop? Just stir it up just a little. Uh-huh.
As he also holding us or lifting us up too, while we go up the 5 flights of the stairs, then if I have to carry 10 pounds or 15 pounds, I get higher.
Mm-hmm.
But then who is carrying me? I am carrying 120 pounds, but it is the involving Krishna is carrying me, lifting me, just like he is doing in the world.
That's a very nice purport. Thank you for sharing that. Shri Shri Radha Girdhari Ki, Giraj Maharaja Ki. In Vrindavan they would go, Shri Radhe Sham. Yes, Prabhu. Uh-huh. Yeah. Das Goswami, yes. Well, he was one of the most confidential servants of the Lord. He was put under direct care of Swarup Damodar, who's Lalita. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's in the mood of Radharani. And Raghunath Das is a Manjari, servant of Lalita, maidservant. And so worship of Govardhan awakens the Krishna praying within. Mm-hmm. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. We should have such problems, huh, Balaram? Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Queued up or queued up? Queued up. 1, 2, 3, play. We got the can't play properly.
Go ahead.
I can't play properly.
Oh, we're doing no circulation.
Service.
Sitting around.
Grab that table. Is it over there?
Even then, no lag moves. The lag moves.
Alright, we rest at the camp and then
Yeah. And when I first was given second initiation, and the winter came, I was the only Mridanga player here. And I was dressing the beats every day. So I'd play Mridanga, and I had to, my fingers would crack and bleed. No, just for Mongol RC. And so I have to be like really careful to not play too hard. It hurts so bad.
Not this morning.
it's kind of weird. I was looking over and I was like,
The yellow one.
I thought I saw something that was red.
And then you're on right now. Yeah, that would be a long way on the play too. And then for hours, my hands would already be pressed into the phone. And then play some of the rest of the videos.
Maybe in my appointment. If there's any record. Big guns down.
Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Vindadalayatakam Bhagavatam Samasitam Buddhasundarangam Kandar Agom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Andani Yasa Sakalem Priya Priti Manti Pasyan Vipan Vikaya